'Tis the season to be holly, jolly, and frankly, a little overwhelmed and stressed, especially when it comes to shopping and video games. But hey, it's gonna be okay, I got you covered, because this year I'm gonna do the ultimate buyer's guide when it comes to video games this holiday season. Good morning, you glorious gamers, and if you brought your parents here, good morning, parents of said gamers. I'm Garbs, and this year, that's right, I'm gonna take all the stress out of shopping when it comes to PlayStation and Nintendo, Stadia, games, controllers, Bluetooth, this. I'm gonna calm all the waters for you with this ultimate guide for this holiday season. Now, before we hop into it, guys, don't forget to super smash that subscribe button, and if you find this video helpful, hit that like button. And for whatever reason, if you don't like my face or you hate the hat or generally this doesn't help you, feel free to hit the dislike button. Now, I know a lot of you guys out there are gonna say Xbox, PlayStation, Xbox Series X, PS5, back and forth. I hate to break it to you, but likelihood is you're probably not gonna get your hands on it. We all know there's a chip shortage, and these are really hard to find, and frankly, they're also really overpriced when it comes to scalpers and other companies. Whereas Nintendo is still that awesome family friend group experience that you can have at a much better deal. So right away, price is gonna be number one, and everyone's budget's a little different. However, if you are watching this video, most likely you know it's gonna be a little bit expensive, and frankly, I'm gonna use the Xbox starter kit setup as our base price point for our Nintendo. So quickly, what does that entail? Well, if you're gonna get a Series X, you're gonna need the console, you're probably gonna want an extra controller, and frankly, you're not gonna get an Xbox without Game Pass. So using those three, our price point is gonna be roughly $750 American to get all those things. So let's use that as our base platform when we build the ultimate together family package for Nintendo. With all that being said, let's get onto the builder's guide, starting with, obviously, the console itself. Now, if you know anything about gaming, you know the OLED is out, but honestly, I'm gonna say no, let's not do the OLED. Let's go with a base model Nintendo Switch for a couple of reasons. Number one, it's more difficult to find an OLED now because it is a hot ticket item, and frankly, there are still tons available at Walmart, for example, for the $370 price point. And if you're lucky and you can find the console bundled with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, you're kind of getting an even better deal because it's the exact same as just getting the console on its own. So that's a pretty good deal. But the first game you absolutely need is Mario Kart 8. Now, it might not be the most technical game considering Forza Horizon 5 just came out and everyone's going crazy over it, but this is one of the most fun experiences you can have in a group or by yourself. Guarantee you, if you plop on Mario Kart, everyone can take a turn and have a great time. So that is hands down number one game that you need to have when it comes to this system. Now, because we're building a gaming package, the next couple things we're gonna buy is not games, but a few accessories. If you want a lot of people to join in and play with you, you're gonna need a few controllers. So I'm gonna suggest two different types of controllers. Number one, I'm gonna say, go buy yourself a set of Joy-Cons. Now, it doesn't matter what kind of Joy-Cons you get, as long as they're the official Nintendo ones. Now, they're running around $100, and the beauty is there's tons of stock in Amazon. It doesn't really matter about the color, but I would stay away from third parties just because these Joy-Cons can be finicky even from Nintendo. Now, the beauty about the Joy-Cons is you can use them together to create one controller, or you can use them separately as little tiny controllers. Now, to be able to play comfortably, we're also gonna get a grip stand for it, which is about 12 bucks on Amazon. This, you can totally go third party, doesn't really matter. It's a piece of plastic, so you can clip them in. So now we have two Joy-Con controllers, and we're also gonna add another controller to the mix. Personally, for this one, you could go with the Pro controller, which is a little more expensive, or what you can do is get a third party controller. And honestly, there's only one that I really recommend, and it's the Pro controller. I have three of these. They're fantastic, and they're a little cheaper at around 62, 65 bucks as well on Amazon. They'll get you there before the holidays. So this is really the best option when it comes to a Pro controller. So the next game that I'm gonna suggest, again, that same $77 to $80 price point, is gonna be Mario Party. Now hold on, there are two Mario Parties, so get the right one. Mario Party Superstars is the game you wanna get. Okay, it is more of a classic Mario Party experience. Anyone can play. It's a board game. You play some mini games. It's a ton of fun. They nickname it the Friendship Killer, but I guarantee you, if you are in college and you have a bunch of buddies over, great game. If you have a family with little ones, also a great game. And hell, even if your grandma wants to play, awesome game, because who doesn't like board games? We're just doing it digitally with Mario on the TV. Just remember, it's Mario Party Superstars, not repeat, not Super Mario Party. Do not get them confused, okay? One is meh and the other is much better. So please get Mario Party Superstars. Okay, we have 2 games on the docket. Perfect. Let's move on to the next game here. Now, you can't have a Nintendo system without a classic Mario game, and there's a lot to choose from, but I'm gonna suggest Super Mario 3D World and Bowser's Fury. Now, this is kind of a 2-for-1 game, comes together. Again, it's a premium price of the $75 to $80 price point. The first half of the game is a remaster of an old Wii U game, which is very classic Mario. You have power-ups, course clear Mario, which is kind of what everyone knows and loves. And the other thing is you can have up to 4 players. So again, togetherness. So you can tackle this on your own, or you can tackle this with your family. Now, it's also really cool because on the other side of that cartridge is Bowser's Fury. Now, that is a single player kind of campaign, which is a little more modern. It still has similar elements, but it's more of an open world 3D section. And that is great so that if you want to play, or your kids want to play, or your buddies want to play, it's great that you can have that experience. So you're kind of getting 2 for 1. So that's going to be the next game I highly suggest in this bundle. So let's increase the value of our bundle with another must-have game on the system, and this is going to be Zelda Breath of the Wild. Now, unfortunately, even though we're really promoting togetherness, this is a solo player campaign. However, this game is synonymous with the Nintendo Switch, okay? It came out, it was one of the biggest games of the year, possibly one of the biggest games of all time, and it launched when the Switch came out. You cannot have a Switch without Breath of the Wild. Zelda is one of the best franchises out there. It's an adventure game, big open world. Others are praising it for its combat and physics mechanics. Oh, blah, 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 blah. Overall, this is a must-have game. Solo campaign, but it is a must-have, and probably 300-400 hours if you want to complete the whole thing. So absolutely pick up Zelda Breath of the Wild. Now, we're almost at that $750 price point, which we discussed at the beginning would be the equivalent of getting an Xbox Extra controller and Game Pass, and that's going to be the Nintendo Switch Online. Now, this has been in the news. It's been quite controversial. I've done videos on that in the past. I'll put them here if you want to see a more detailed version of what goes along with Nintendo Switch Online. However, for $50 a year, it's not that bad, and for inclusivity of all generations of gaming, it's probably a good idea to entice older generations. Not that it's older to be in that generation, I'm a part of that generation, and you can relive your games and share them with your kids if you get the Nintendo Switch Online package. But the big things you get is you get NES Online, which is a handful of Nintendo games library that you can play, download it right to your Switch. You can get Super Nintendo Online, which is again a Super Nintendo library, and they just came out with the Nintendo 64 Switch Online library. And they are going to keep adding titles slowly, but they will keep adding titles. So really, it's a fun way to bring in all the generations of gamers into one place. There's a lot of multiplayer, there's a lot of nostalgia, and frankly, there's just a lot of game for that $50 price point, and I highly recommend it if you're getting a whole Switch package put together for the holidays. So that's my ultimate buyer's guide for this holiday season, and the best part is you can get everything on Amazon right now, Amazon Prime, delivered to your house. Now, the only 2 things that it kind of got shifted is the system itself and Breath of the Wild, but they're really easy to find if you just go into a Walmart. I guarantee you're gonna find Breath of the Wild, but you will find an original Switch, which is really all you need. All right, everyone? Yes, it can be expensive, and the beauty with the Nintendo is, hey, you don't have to get them all those games, all right? Pick and choose whichever games I said, but it will be a lot cheaper than trying to hunt down those Xboxes and PS5s. Anyway, everyone, follow for more, and if you want to see some of these other videos, there's a bunch over here or down below, it doesn't really matter. Don't forget to follow me on all the other socials, and really just from me to you guys, be safe out there, and as always, stay happy, stay healthy, and have a happy holiday.